Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into Carol's Daily Sauce. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell so that you are reminded of all of the videos that I upload. You don't want to miss any notification. So I'm coming to you all later on in the evening. Unfortunately, I won't be doing a live. I've been resting a lot on today, so this talk is just something in general in which I can just touch bases with you all and let you all know what's going on, specifically with me and with the family. We're well. Each and every one of us are still trying to recover from whatever this crud is that has been going around in the winter months. However, we did have someone come in today and found out that some of the problems that we've been having with breathing and the issues with cold and allergen problems have something to do with the issue that is now being rectified. So thank God for that. But just wanted to touch bases on a few of the events that I've been talking about as far as what's going on with the Moms for Housing. Still, you guys, they are being forced to be evicted sometime this week. This is a story out of Oakland, California, and it's huge. It's all over the local CBS News. You can Google it on Google and it'll definitely pop up. And it's basically a situation in which you have a city in the state of California that has a vast problem, huge, ginormous actually, problem with the issue of homelessness. Now, there are, however, a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons have to do with mental illness. Some of those reasons have to do with issues with problems with being addicted to pharmakia or alcoholism. I mean, it's a load of different reasons as to why people find themselves in homelessness. However, those are not always the reasons. These particular moms who have actually arranged this organization, Moms for Housing, are actually working moms who unfortunately had to take over possession of a house that had remained vacant for a long time. Some people like to refer to the four moms and their children as squatters. I don't refer to them as squatters. I refer to them as persons who need housing. Y'all, excuse me, this throat is still scratchy. Refer to them as persons who need housing. And I also look at it as a resident in a city, in a state, and where you all could even be going through it and have, I'm quite sure, recognize and notice persons sleeping under a bridge or possibly notice persons walking around and knowing visibly that they are without shelter. Now, the issue with the Moms for Housing right now is that, number one, first and foremost, they are in a home that is owned by a very big company, a very big real estate company that actually buys abandoned houses that have went into foreclosure or were abandoned. It's a number of different houses. They basically even take over houses that have neglected to pay their taxes, and as a result of it, they flip these houses over and they sell these houses. Okay, a lot of times these houses are sold to very big realty companies. They flip the houses over. Now, the issue that I have with the Moms for Housing situation is this: the company wants the world to believe that this house that the moms have occupied in Oakland, California, they want us to believe that they want to flip the house over, redo the house with another nonprofit organization. My issue with it is if it's a nonprofit organization, why is it that the organization that they are looking to work with is an organization working with young men? Now, these young men may be homeless. These young men may have had problems with addiction. They may have had issues where they are actually just using the agency or organization for help, which is good because that's what agencies and organizations are out there for. But my issue is, I know that I read in an article with the Moms for Housing that this particular big company, and I will put the name of the company that actually bought the house that the Moms for Housing is occupying on Blossom Street in Oakland. This company that bought this house is working with another agency, which is supposed to be a nonprofit agency. Here's the issue. If you are a nonprofit agency, why is it that you are getting funds after the work is done? It sounds like to me that they are doing some shiciness. I could be very wrong. I could be very wrong. But as far as I know, nonprofit organizations are those who receive funding from several different areas, several different companies, and those funds are put into nonprofit to help those that are in need. Okay? That part is great because I believe that everybody deserves to be helped. The one thing that we have to realize, because some people just don't realize it, you can't say remember, you have to say realize. Everybody deserves housing. I don't care if you don't have money. I don't care if you've never lived in a house before. You still deserve housing. People end up homeless for so many reasons. I have been studying, looking, reading about Oakland and the issue with homelessness, and y'all, it is deplorable. There are over 16,000 vacant homes in West Oakland right now today on January the 13th, 2020, where either the owners have left the homes, abandoned them because they were unable to keep up with the costs, the living costs, abandoned them because they were forced out as renters with increased rent, abandoned them because they were unable to keep up with the taxes, whatever the case may be. See, what the city of Oakland is doing is they are saying that they're helping, but they aren't. If the city of Oakland was actually helping through shelters and other means, there wouldn't be so many people living on the streets. I have been aware of homelessness living in the state of California. However, it has drastically increased over the years. And I know that it's like that everywhere. I don't think California is the only state that is suffering and dealing with the issue of homelessness. However, when you have an entire community, so to speak, or an entire apartment complex where they have literally moved people out for fictitious reasons to allow those that are coming from the Bay Area. And when I refer to the Bay Area, I mean San Francisco, to come to Oakland so that they can get affordable housing and commute from Oakland to San Francisco. Y'all, what I want you to know is for the average person to rent a 1 bedroom house, it's probably almost $4,000 a month in the city of Oakland. For someone to rent a 1 bedroom apartment, it's almost $2,800 a month in the city of Oakland. Yeah, I know people can say, oh, the housing cost is high everywhere you go. It doesn't give these moms for housing a right to occupy a house that they don't own, to break into the house and start taking up residence in it. Well, you could say that, but what gives a person a right to own a home and not do anything with the home when you have millions upon millions of people who are without shelter? There comes a time when you have to look at humanity. You have to look at people who bleed like you do, who can ultimately die like you can, who have to have food and shelter to live. I could not actually imagine being outside on the street as cold as it is right now. I am from California, born and raised in California. And I actually was born and raised in Vallejo. And Vallejo is surrounded by water as well as Oakland. And anybody that has good common sense knows that the closer you are to water, the cooler it is going to be. Y'all, it's frigid. It's frigid in California right now. Forget all that sunny stuff. Yes, sunny, but it's cool and crisp too. And for those of us that have ailments, those of us who are getting older, this cold hurts. I cannot even imagine living on the street like this. So many people who are homeless have had to take to panhandling or begging for monies to make ends meet, to possibly get something to eat or to even go somewhere to stay. But what I notice is a lot of the people in Oakland right now, they don't go and stay in hotels. At least in Fairfield, they go and they round up money throughout excuse me, they round up money throughout the day so that they can go and stay in hotels. The people here in Oakland pretty much round up money so that they can eat. So I guess basically my issue is just trying to keep y'all aware of what is going on all around us. And as I said, I know people in all parts of the world, in every single state, there is an issue with homelessness. It's just some cities that the issue is a huger issue. You know, it's a bigger issue. The moms for housing have really gotten me because they're moms with children. And there are and there is constantly around the clock a human chain of people standing in front of the house willing to be arrested to protect these mothers and keep these mothers in this home. The resilience of them is something else. But you know what my issue is? My issue is what is it doing to the children? Y'all know children have 150,000 questions. What do they tell their children when the police and the sheriffs come in there and literally tell them to get their stuff and get out of the house? What do they tell the children? Now, in the state of California, your belongings and things, the owners have to put your belongings and things in a storage unit. They don't typically throw your stuff out on the street. They have to put your stuff in a storage unit for a specific period of time. By law, they're required to do that. After that period of time, I believe it's like 15 days, 15 to 30 days, if you don't come back and pick that stuff up, then they can, in fact, discard of it, sell it. It then becomes their property. Okay? But the heartlessness of landlords, the heartlessness of slumlords, the heartlessness of people to think that these people deserve to be kicked out of the house because it doesn't belong to them. And you know what, you guys, I'm a big believer of you don't touch nothing that don't belong to you. You don't break into anything. But when it comes to housing for children, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I have to change my thoughts on that. I have to change my beliefs on that. I honestly believe that everybody is entitled to housing. And I honestly believe that this is an issue that our President of the United States needs to be taken care of. It doesn't matter what caused them to get there. It doesn't matter whether or not they had a significant other, a partner that passed. It doesn't matter whether they at one time had a drug problem and they fell off track and couldn't take care of their bills. It doesn't matter whether they lost their job. It doesn't matter. All that matters right now is this: allowing them to either stay in that house or moving them to another house that they all can stay in. And just think of it: 4 families living together. African American, might I add, black, might I add, black people. Normally, we can't even live together because one person wants to be the head honcho, one person wants to be the chief. These women know that they have to live together in order to make it work. It's not even a forced issue. They know that their children need somewhere to stay. From what I can understand, when they first took residence of this household, there was only 2 families. It's now 4. So what that tells me is that the moms who originally moved in it seen a need for other moms to come in and have shelter. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. And if you choose to be rude, you're entitled to that. But guess what? I don't know if it'll stay on my page. If you choose to attack me, I don't care about that. I'm over that. The bottom line is this: everybody wasn't born with a silver, platinum, or gold spoon in their mouth. Everybody doesn't have a whole bunch of money. But I tell you one thing: everybody is human and deserves to have housing. So I stand firmly with the Moms4Housing. I pray that you will Google it, look at it, and that you will stand firm with them, because they need an army. But not only for the Moms4Housing, dads for housing, single parentings for housing, seniors for housing, young people for housing who can't live with their parents, young people who end up moving out at 18, 19 years old. Y'all, it's ridiculous. Nobody should be homeless. Then you wonder why people fall into criminal activity, because they have to do whatever it is that they have to do to live. It's a vicious cycle, but it has to stop. Homelessness must end. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Be blessed, be strengthened, and be encouraged. Send up a prayer for the Moms4Housing, as well as all of those who are suffering in need. Just pray for our country. One thing that I never do, but I'm going to do today, is this. The Bible tells us in 2 Corinthians, and this is the Holy Bible, King James Version, 2 Corinthians 7:14. This is the NIV version, which is the New International Version, which means that it is just in our verbiage. We just have a better way of understanding it. 2 Chronicles 7:14. It's the Lord speaking to us, and he says, if my people who are called by my name, those people that are called by his name are those of us who confess and profess to be Christians, would humble themselves, repent of their sins, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I forgive them. I will hear their prayers in heaven, and I will heal their land. Y'all, our land needs to be healed. And we start by attempting to get our land healed by praying and loving and caring for others. Please, y'all, support the Moms4Housing. If you live in a country, state, overseas, wherever, do what it is that you can do to support for an end to homelessness. Nobody deserves to be without shelter. I'll talk to y'all real soon. Be blessed, be strengthened, and be encouraged. I love each and every one of you with the love of Christ. Bye-bye.